Sam Martin to kick off. Detroit won the toss. They have deferred. And Cordero Patterson, one of only 3 wide receivers who are active tonight, Josh Gordon is not, is back to return it. Very dangerous return man. So under the roof before 65,000 at Ford Field on this Sunday night. Off we go. Patterson, a couple of yards in. To the outside he goes. Cordero Patterson, ever dangerous, and gets taken down from behind up at the 41-yard line by Teez Tabor. And we'll take a look at the New England offense.
Tom Brady, Michigan.
Sony Michel, Georgia.
Chris Hogan, Penn State Lacrosse.
Philip Dorsett, the U.
Rob Gronkowski, University of Arizona.
Dwayne Allen, Clemson.
Trey Brown, Georgia Military College.
Joe Tooney, North Carolina State.
David Andrews, Georgia.
Shaq Mason, Georgia Tech.
Marcus Cannon, TCU.
Cannon back inactive last week. Sony Michel gets the start, the rookie out of Georgia. One of 2 first-round draft choices and a nice run. Keeps those legs churning, picks up 6 yards. Tom Brady, MVP last year at the age of 40, 254th regular season start, most for one team in the history of the league, breaking a tie with Brett Favre. Quickly to the line they go, and this is Michel again. And he picks up only 1. It'll be 3rd down and 4. The Patriots, it's been running back by committee for a few years. They had LeGarrette Blount, who was their ace for a couple of years. James White sees a lot of action. Rex Burkhead will also see a lot of action. But Michel is the guy they went for in the draft and hope that he can be eventually a 3-down back. White is now in the game with Burkhead. And Brady spreads them all out as they go 5 wide. 3rd and 4. White comes in motion to the inside. Brady looking that way, dancing in the pocket, fires, and it's incomplete over the middle, intended for Chris Hogan. So a good start for the Lions as they hold them on a 3-and-out.
Well, the best news for the Lions is they held up on the first 2 plays in the running game. If you've watched Detroit at all, they have been a disaster stopping the run. So that gave them the chance on 3rd down, and then they made a play with their man coverage.
Left-footed punter Ryan Allen. Jamal Agnew ran a couple back on punt returns last year and wound up making the Pro Bowl. Agnew sets up back at the 10. Angled kick. Gonna let it bounce. And takes a Detroit hop and is down at the 14-yard line. Let's take a look at the Detroit starters.
Matthew Stafford, University of Georgia.
Garrett Blount, Taylor County High School.
Marvin Jones Jr., Cal.
Kenny Galladay, Northern Illinois.
Luke Wilson, Villanova High School.
Levine Toilolo, Stanford University.
Taylor Decker, The Ohio State University.
Frank Ragnow, Arkansas. Graham Glasgow, Michigan.
TJ Lang, Eastern Michigan.
Rick Wagner, Wisconsin.
Well, I mentioned Blount earlier, former Patriot, last year with the Eagles, won a Super Bowl ring there, and now he is in the backfield for Detroit. And they have been looking for a running game seemingly since Barry Sanders retired. And this is Blount. And Blount takes it up to the 17-yard line. Matthew Stafford, his numbers through the first 2 games, he threw 4 picks on opening night. Low rating. You'd have to say he's had 1 good quarter, and that was the 4th quarter last week in San Francisco when they almost erased a 17-point deficit but lost by 3.
But this team is capable. All you have to do is look around at these wide receivers and running backs. You know what they can do if they get it together.
Stafford in his 10th year. Slings it to the outside, caught. That'll be a first down. That's Kenny Galladay, an emerging star. Gilmore covering on the play, and the first down of the game belongs to the Lions.
Yeah, most people know about Golden Tate and Marvin Jones, but this Kenny Galladay has really made an impression on everybody. He's sort of that intermediate route catcher. You've got Golden Tate on this offense. They get the ball to him quickly, a lot of moves. Marvin Jones, the deep threat, but this guy has become a force in that middle range.
Wide 7 hard. Oh, come on, baby.
Patriots showing blitz.
Watch the straight. What you want?
And they back off now. Stafford feeds the ball. Inside give. Nice run there by LeGarrette Blount. He's a guy who can run over people, but he's also elusive, which people, I don't think, when you watch him run, you don't know how elusive he can be.
I agree with it. Ranked 5th in the NFL in our elusive rating that we do, but you can see the gap right here, and you give him a little room to run. Now, elusive also means you run over people, right?
Sure.
If the guy didn't make the tackle, you can either give a little wiggle and make him miss, or just run over him. That's about 50-50 for him.
White 7 hot. You ready? I got that. Blue 80. Play set.
2nd and 4. Play action. Pass is caught. That's Blount coming out of the backfield. And another Detroit first down. And action there as the ball may have come loose, but it did not. It's a first down. Let's take a look at the New England defense.
Deatrice Wise Jr., Arkansas.
Lawrence Scott, ASU. Malcolm Brown, Hooker.
Keontae Davis, Chattanooga. Kyle Van Noy, Brigham.
Elandon Roberts, the University of Houston.
Dante Hightower, the University of Alabama.
Stephon Gilmore, South Carolina.
Duron Harmon, Rutgers.
Devin McCourty, RU.
Jason McCourty, Rutgers.
3 key guys are missing tonight, including Trey Flowers, Patrick Chung, and Eric Rowe, the best pass rusher in half their defensive backfield. And here goes Blount again, bulling his way out to the 47-yard line for a gain of 7, 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, and a little bit of a surprise here. It is now the Lions going with 2 tight ends instead of that typical 3 wide receiver look, and just playing some power football. I think getting number 76, the right guard, TJ Lang, back is a huge help there. But inside, you've got Lang and Frank Ragnow, who is their rookie, who is struggling a bit with pass protection, but does very well with the run game.
2nd down and 3. Inside handoff goes to Kerryon Johnson, and that is a first down. They picked him in the 2nd round. Again, Detroit looking for a running game for over a decade. A rookie out of Auburn, led the SEC in rushing last year. Again, Flowers out with a concussion. Eric Rowe would start at a corner with a groin, and Patrick Chung is still in the concussion protocol.
Yeah,
Brian Flores right there. He is the nominal defensive coordinator, doesn't have the title linebacker coach, but with Patricia coming here, Flores calls the defensive signals.
We know with Belichick, you don't get that title automatically. Sometimes you have to wait a year or 2.
From the 48. Blitz coming from the outside. Stafford throwing, reaching up for it is Golden Tate, but no. Incomplete. Covered there by Jonathan Jones, who's playing tonight with Rowe out.
Perfect opportunity there for Golden Tate. The one thing that they have talked about all week this week is our receivers are going to get one-on-one coverage. We have to win the contested catches. We have to be able to go up in this game and win these balls. But that was perfectly done that time by Jonathan Jones. You see him slip the hand in there and get it out. 2nd
down and 10. 8th play of the Lions' opening drive after the Patriots went 3 and out.
Deep safety's likely a run. No.
Left the fake. Stafford fires over the middle. Golden Tate makes the catch to the 30-yard line. He goes Jonathan Jones, makes the tackle, and another Detroit first down, an 18-yard pickup.
Well, this is the fatal flaw when you're talking about the New England Patriots. If the Detroit Lions can pass protect like this all night long, I think this happened to him in the Super Bowl as well. Nick Foles really had all day to throw the football. And on the outside, there's Taylor Decker with the pass blocking against Adrian Claiborne, who is now probably their best rusher.
Claiborne came over from Atlanta, had 6 sacks in 1 game against Dallas last season. 4 runs, 4 passes on this balanced drive, and here comes your 5th run. Blount escapes a tackle in the backfield and then weaves his way just about back to the line of scrimmage. Blount, an interesting case. Started with Tampa. He was in New England and then left there, went to Pittsburgh for about half a season. Then he came back, picked up a couple of Super Bowl rings, left there, went to Philadelphia last year, got a Super Bowl ring, and on to Detroit.
Yeah, and he told us that one of the big reasons he decided to come here was because of his relationship with Matt Patricia. He made no bones about it. He also knew they were going to draft a running back high. He said, I don't care. He got a couple of good receiving backs out of the backfield, and he is, as he is everywhere he goes, the hammer.
And that high draft pick is in the backfield right now. Kerryon Johnson stays in the block, and the pass is caught at the 25-yard line. That is Kenny Golladay and Jason McCourty. Devin's twin, who came over from Cleveland in a trade at the beginning of the year, makes the stop.
When you play the Patriots, the one thing you have to be able to do is block these big linebackers. They are huge. A lot of times the backs can't handle it. Nice job there by the rookie, Kerryon Johnson. If you can't pick up those guys, you're in for a long night.
There are the twins. Two McCourtys. Theo Riddick now comes into the backfield for Detroit. Great pass catching back. It's 3rd down and 5. He flares out. Pass goes over the middle, and that is Tate. Does he pick up the 1st down? Very close as he gets to the 20-yard line. Clete Blakeman is the referee. Takes a look at the chains and says they are a little bit short. Well, if you're Detroit now, I go for it. What do you think?
Absolutely. Let's take a look. Here are the sticks on the near side of the screen. Will be official. Does not touch. Not touched. There. Short of those sticks.
And they're going to send in the field goal group, so the crowd doesn't like that because that's an 11-play drive. Very effective to this point, but now they'll settle for a 39-yard field goal attempt. One of the best ever, Matt Prater. A couple of misses last week out west, 55 and 44. Sam Martin to put it down. And the kick is good, so at least it ends with a score. With 6 minutes to play in the opening frame, 3-0 Detroit. Mentioned last year, Father Time has no idea where this guy lives. His passing yardage at 38 and 39 years of age, both NFL records at that point. Then he turns 40 last season. And what does he do? Oldest player to lead the NFL in passing yards and wins the MVP award for the 3rd time in his illustrious career.
I tell you, Al, he's gotten my MVP vote for the last 3 years. It's almost impossible to explain.
Oldest MVPs in the 4 major sports. Barry Bonds was 40. Karl Malone was 35. Herb Gardner, you have to go all the way back to Montreal in 26 and 27 in the NHL at the age of 35. So Brady at 41. Who knows?
Why not?
Could very well do it again.
Best news I had all weekend was he was only 18 years older than I was. Felt relevant again.
Line drive kick is fielded at the 10. And this is Sony Michel, who was back there as one of the up men, who will take it back himself to the 26. Let's take a look at the Detroit D.
Ricky Jean-Francois, Carroll City.
Sylvester Williams, North Carolina.
Deshaun Hand, Alabama.
Christian Jones, Florida State.
Jared Davis, University of Florida.
Devon Kennard, USC.
Nevin Lawson, Utah State.
Glover Quinn, New Mexico.
Quandre Diggs, University of Texas. Jamal Agnew, San Diego.
Darius Big Play Slay, Mississippi State.
Big Play Slay was in concussion protocol, so he got off that a couple of days ago. As Brady on 1st down slings it out to Sony Michel, and he'll go nowhere. Taken down by Robinson. Matt Patricia thus far in the 2 games, rushing yards per game against the defense 180. You're not going to win very much with that. And 39 in 2 games, the average. So that's 78 points, and only Buffalo coming into this weekend have given up that many.
They had 2 runs, they gave up over 60 yards, so that really impacted them.
2nd and 11, and that is caught. No, it's not caught. It's Dorsett on the outside. Again, I mentioned just 3 wide receivers active tonight. Dorsett, Cordero Patterson, and Chris Hogan for Josh McDaniels' offense.
Let's take a look. Typically, all the double teams, all the tricks on Rob Gronkowski come on 3rd down. The first 3rd down, they just went straight man-to-man coverage, and it was Quandre Diggs on him. This one looks a little more zonish with 3rd and 11.
Spread it out again. 5 receivers. Lions 4-man rush. Brady, the clean pocket, and then throws, and it's high, and it is incomplete. Intended for Dorsett. Straight over the middle, so it's a second straight 3-and-out for the Pats.
Well, you're never going to beat Tom Brady with this kind of time. You just simply are not. He had to pump fake that one, and he just missed that throw. Dorsett's a smaller receiver. He just missed it, but it was wide open.
Ryan Allen to punt. Agnew is back for it. Spinning kick and short, and takes a Detroit hop sideways. And the Lions will have very decent field position at the 41-yard line. A little less than 5 to go in the quarter. 3-0 home team. So Patricia got the job after the Super Bowl. It's already February. Stafford, of course, is the quarterback. So then the offensive coordinator has been, over the past couple of years, Jim Bob Cooter, who was hired by Caldwell. And Stafford, of course, and Cooter have had a nice pairing going. And not that Matthew was necessarily in the meetings, but he was very happy when Patricia decided to retain the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and why not? Matthew Stafford and Jim Bob Cooter basically built this system together. A lot of input between the two of them. So Stafford was very comfortable.
Start from the 40-yard line, off the fake, good protection. Then he throws it out to Blunt, spins his way for a gain of about 8 to the 48-yard line. Devin McCourty makes the stop.
Al, football at its best is when you put in a running formation and throw the ball, or a throwing formation and run the ball. So what they're doing so far in this game is they're taking LeGarrette Blunt, putting him in the backfield and throwing him the football. That is not what you expect out of the Detroit Lions. Typically the receivers are Theo Riddick and Kerryon Johnson coming out of the backfield.
Blunt's already caught 2 tonight. His career high is 3. And they give the ball to the rookie with a flag down. Kerryon Johnson, for the moment, would have the first down. Flag is down to the 48-yard line. Clete Blakeman says,
holding offense number 77, the 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
That's Frank Ragnow. He was their #1 pick, rookie out of Arkansas.
Yeah, let's take a look at this one. There's Ragnow right there. And remember, he played center in college. So I think there was a little bit of a tough decision for this organization. Do you play the rookie Ragnow at center and Graham Glasgow at guard? He has experience out there. Or do you put the veteran in there at center, Glasgow, and try and develop Ragnow? There has been a definite learning curve as far as pass protection with him there.
On 2nd and 12. Stafford throws to the outside, and that is caught by Luke Wilson, the former Seattle Seahawk, the tight end. Serenaded with Luke, and that should be a first down. Run out by Landon Roberts.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think the Patriots are going to have a tough time with is their linebackers in coverage. Landon Roberts that time basically got picked by a bunch formation on that side. And so there really isn't that great cover linebacker. So if they can spread them out, the Detroit Lions, and force some man coverage with those linebackers, I think they can dictate they have to play a little more zone.
Yeah.
Reed. Flanking Stafford. Blitz coming, gets it away, caught at the 45-yard line and getting wrestled, not quite down, but forward progress stop. Marvin Jones tackled by McCourty. Gain of 5.
Well, we talked about it, but when these Patriot linebackers blitz, they are coming hard. Landon Roberts that time, and forced LeGarrette Blunt to pick it up. But once again, Blunt in the backfield and still throwing the football.
Yep.
Kerryon Johnson coming in, rotating the backs. Second down and 5. And here goes the rookie through the middle for a first down to the 36-yard line. Tackled by Bentley. That's already Detroit's 6th first down of the game.
Here's what this team does really well. Watch Graham Glasgow, the center, make that, but also Ragnow, when he gets that big frame of his on a linebacker or a defensive back, they are going backwards. So now it's upside down day again, right? You end up with Kerryon Johnson in the backfield, you run. Get LeGarrette Blount back there, you pass.
White 7 hot.
Johnson stays in at the 36. Stafford has 8 completions to 5 different receivers. Johnson again. Boy, he can move. First down to the 23-yard line, tackled by Van Noy.
I know there's frustration over Ragnow and his pass protection, but watch these run blocks. He's moving people, and they're doing a heck of a job in there. They are going right at the New England Patriots. I thought the Patriots' strength was really those big guys that they had in their interior 3, and it'd be tough to run against them. Not so far.
Early in the game, the Lions have 111 yards. The Patriots have 5. Lunt gets stacked up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and 10 with a little over a minute to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, and no real surprise for me that the New England Patriots are basically saying, Matthew Stafford, we've got our secondary banged up. We'd prefer you to run the football. So we're seeing a lot of that 2-deep safety look back there to prevent these wide receivers from getting all the man coverage and getting down the field. So far it's working. The Patriots have always been very good in the red zone. They won the first time. Let's see how they do here.
Just outside that zone right now at the 24-yard line. It's second down and 10. Stafford finds time, finds the open man. That's another first down as Marvin Jones sets up a first down and goal at the 9-yard line. And that's going to take us, in all probability, to the end of the quarter. And what a quarter for that guy's team. 125 yards to 5. A 3-0 lead and knocking on the door. And that is the end of the first quarter. Detroit 3, New England nothing. Sunday Night Football back after these messages. Week 3, first quarter numbers, all Detroit. 126 to 5. 2 3-and-outs for the Patriots and 8 first downs. 8 for Detroit, and they have one here as the second quarter commences with the first and goal at the 9-yard line.
But you do not beat the Patriots with field goals. They have to start scoring touchdowns.
Bunch formation to the left. The rookie Johnson is the running back. It's Riddick in motion. Johnson. Tough running inside the 5. It'll be second down and goal. This kid has already carried for 31 yards on 4 totes.
Yeah, he's been really impressive too. I mean, SEC Offensive Player of the Year at Auburn, rushed for 1,391 yards, and they really feel like that he was a hidden gem in the draft because they thought he was so much better a receiver than what he was able to show at Auburn.
First 2 weeks, well, they get down deep and they pass, not run, but they ran there. Second down and goal. Blunt is the back. Take it to him. Stafford fires. That'll be caught, and the ball comes out. It's a little short of the goal line. They keep the ball. It's Golladay who couldn't get in. It is out of bounds at the 1-yard line. The ball spinning away. Gilmore makes the stop. It's third and goal from the 1-yard line.
Now you'll see this little sidearm throw, and remember, you'll see the receiver's foot go across the line, but that does not matter. Does the ball go across the line? They drop. Oh, there it is. I think this is going to be a touchdown.
Well, they got to challenge it. It was ruled out, so if Patricia wants to challenge, we think he's going to win it, and here comes the flag.
Did Matt Patricia throw that red flag that far?
Well, I don't know. The flag winds up at the 4-yard line.
That's the farthest red flag throw I have ever seen if he got it from the 25 to the 2.
Even Stafford's former high school mate Clayton Kershaw couldn't have done that.
There you go.
Detroit is challenging the ruling on the field. The runner did not extend the ball beyond the goal line prior to fumbling it.
crowd has seen the replay and they anticipate a touchdown. How about that?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, good form.
After review of the play, the runner extended the ball beyond the goal line prior to losing control. But it's a touchdown. He's put 14 minutes, 12 seconds on the game clock, 14-12.
When the challenge, the extra point forthcoming now with 48 seconds having elapsed in the second quarter as Prater tries to make it 10-0. And does, and what a start for the Lions. 9 first downs. New England has none. 135 yards for Detroit. New England has 5. Sam Martin will send it into the end zone and through. Out to the 25 will come Tom Brady. Still looking for a first down. Now there is Josh Gordon, the big trade, of course, this week with Cleveland for a 5th-round draft choice. The much suspended and off suspended Gordon, boy, if he can stay active, he will be something. But he had a slight hamstring pull when he reported. Maybe he's ready for next week. Then they have a Thursday night game on top of that. And then they get Julian Edelman back as well after a 4-game suspension. What a difference that could make. Meanwhile, you've got on first down here, Sony Michel. So you take a look at their receiving core here. You know, everybody wants to go back to the Randy Moss thing when Moss came over. What a difference that made. Of course, he's in the Hall of Fame. What do you think of the Gordon situation?
Depends. If he's the 2013 Gordon, he is going to be Randy Moss. It was one of the most exciting seasons I think I've ever seen. He averaged like 118 yards a game receiving, which was like 6th best in the history of the National Football League. But that was a long time ago. And you just hope and pray for the kid that he can get over his issues. 2nd and 8,
and that's Rex Burkhead. About a yard short of the first down with Josh Gordon. We go back to 2013, suspended for the first 2 games, suspended 11 games in 14, 15 the whole year. In 16, the whole year again, 17 suspended for 11 games, and finally Cleveland just ran out of patience. I mean, at a certain point, you got to cut bait. 3rd and 1, and wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage is Michel with A'Shawn Robinson, and the New England Patriots, for the 3rd time in a row, have got 3 and out.
I think there's some people around here going, hey, what's happening here with these Detroit Lions? This is the team that really had no chance whatsoever to stop the run. And I think that might have been Ricky Jean-Francois.
Fielded at the 21-yard line. Agnew breaking one. There's a flag down, however, so in all likelihood, as you all know, following the NFL, it's normally against the receiving team, and it will be.
Jamal Agnew can't catch a break. Every time he has a good run back, it gets called back.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 24. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul. First down, Detroit.
It's Nevin Lawson, but Detroit has it, and a 10-0 lead. Matthew Stafford, 10th season, #1 overall pick in 09, 35,000 passing yards, but 60 and 67 is his record. It's the perfect way to put it. 24.1 points per game allowed by the Lions in his start, 2nd highest for a quarterback with 1 team. So he does not get the defensive support, or hasn't. And of course, we've mentioned it time after time, no running game. But maybe they'll get one now with Blunt and Kerryon Johnson. At least the way it looks at the moment, they're off to a great start.
Tell you what, all these underneath throws and runs, setting up some big play action at some point.
There goes Blunt. Nice first down run. Out to the 27-yard line. Gain of 5. 2nd down and 5.
It's a difficult situation. You want to protect this secondary a little bit, and I understand that. You've got some young players back there. Jason McCourty taking over for Eric Rowe. Patrick Chung is such a huge part of this defense. He's sort of that Swiss Army knife, can handle all the different things. So now basically they're having to bring their free safety out of the middle, Devin McCourty. They're playing Deron Harmon. So a lot of moving parts on this Patriots defense.
And J.C. Jackson, 27, a rookie out of Maryland. Stafford sidearms it. That's caught, but banged down. Luke Wilson, the ex-Seahawk. Landon Roberts makes the tackle. Loss of 2, 3rd and 7 for the Lions.
Yeah, it's really starting to set up. I think that this may possibly be a game in which the Detroit Lions tight ends, and not everybody knows a lot about them, but Luke Wilson came over from Seattle. Levine Toilolo came over from Atlanta. So you've got some guys that really haven't made a lot of catches so far, but if they continue with the linebackers on those guys, big opportunities.
Eric Ebron out the door. He's now at Indianapolis. They have Riddick, the pass catching back in the backfield on 3rd down and 7. Stafford fires, and that'll be caught up at the 40-yard line by Marvin Jones. So on 3rd and long, they convert. That's their 10th first down. Crossan makes the tackle.
Now this is all about protection. If you can hold out these guys for this long, some of these routes that you want to develop down the field, as a receiver, you get so frustrated sometimes when they're in man coverage because you know they're going to end up blitzing 4 or bringing some pressure off the edge. So you have to accelerate your route. But with that protection, it gave these receivers an opportunity to work it down the field.
So if you're just tuning in and saw that statistic, you think it's a misprint.
Sort of like watching the Buffalo.
That's what I was just thinking. Flea flicker. Stafford deep downfield with a flag thrown. Coverage is good. Golladay, the intended receiver. And Clete Blakeman will be the next voice you will hear.
Now there was a lot of contact going back and forth with J.C. Jackson. Looks like they're trying to figure out if it was in the air or before.
Prior to the pass, holding defense, number 27. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
A rookie out of Maryland playing with Crossan, another rookie.
So you get a little delay while they do the flea flicker and then try to take off. And let's see what J.C. Jackson does at that point.
What do you think?
Yeah, can't tell. We have an official in the booth now. I'm letting him make all those calls.
Even the small ones?
Or even the tiniest of ones.
Like encroachment?
Encroachment, offsides, delay of game.
12 men in formation on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
A third of the way into the game, and Bill Belichick has not seen his team look like this very often.
Well, in fairness, there are a lot of guys who aren't Patriot, used to playing in this uniform out there on the field right now, too. So a little indoctrination period here as well, and there are former defensive coordinators on the other side of the field right now.
Inside handoff, swinging around to the outside as Johnson stays in bounds, and he stepped out at the 35-yard line. That's where he stepped out of bounds. But it was 1st and 5, so a first down and much more.
I'll tell you, this Kerryon Johnson is making an impression. I thought Dante Hightower had him. Take a look, watch Hightower right there, and he looks like he's in perfect position, and Johnson just outran him to the edge. Got it turned up the field. I tell you, this offensive line looks a million times better than they did a week ago.
Johnson stays in the backfield. Call his number again. And he gets wrestled down after a short gain to about the 33-yard line. 2nd down and 7 after a gain of 3.
Could this possibly be the night that the Detroit Lions have a running back go over 100 yards? Reggie Bush, right?
Thanksgiving, 5 years ago? 2013, 70 games since they've had a 100-yard rusher. And right now Johnson already has 48 and Blunt has 21.
At some point, you keep running it, those safeties are forced to come down, and then you get the true one-on-one matchups with a single safety like they have on the field right now.
Keep it on the ground. Give it to Blunt. And LeGarrette Blunt, he of 3 Super Bowl rings, to the 27-yard line. 3rd and 2.
So here's what I'm talking about. At one time they were here and here. Now they're here, and this guy's starting to creep down a little bit, but no, he's still backing up. So you want to be patient. You know who your quarterback is. You know what this offense is capable of doing. But it's going to be interesting to see. Those safeties will tell the story of how Bill Belichick feels about the way the Detroit Lions are running pretty soon.
Lisa. 3rd and 3. Toss to the rookie again. Boy, you got to love him at this point. To the 22-yard line he goes. He led the team in rushing over the first 2 weeks, and he has 54 yards already tonight, and that's 13 first downs for Detroit and none for New England.
TJ Lang is one of the better players in the National Football League and the best lineman on this team. He was out last week, but that is a heck of a reach block right there to get that edge on a big 3rd down conversion.
Lions have run 3 times as many plays as the Patriots, 27-9, halfway through the 2nd quarter. And Stafford's going for it all and incomplete. Good coverage that time. You've got Gilmore against Jones in a marquee matchup. 2nd down and 10.
That is a marquee matchup, and Stephon Gilmore is the unquestioned best cornerback on the Patriots right now. He's on the outside here, and watch this position. He never lets the speedster Marvin Jones get ahead of him. That is usually the receiver is trying to stack the other way, but Gilmore, we saw it in the Super Bowl as well, as he made the switch over and made the one-on-one coverage on the outside. What a difference it made in that game. Now they have to start thinking about going after the others, and at some point Jason McCourty will be challenged.
Stafford, protection breaking down, but he's able to get it away, slings it to the outside. That's Riddick. About a yard shy of the first down. Theo Riddick getting into the action. Forced out by Gilmore.
It was a heck of a play by Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, Matthew Stafford, as he was under attack. How many times have we seen Roethlisberger just stand there and somehow get the thing out of his hand? Brilliant quarterback play, really is. With the way that they're calling some sacks right now, I think some quarterbacks are thinking, all right, are they going to blow that play dead at some point?
3rd and a deuce. Play clock down to 3. Stafford's going to swing it out. Caught by Johnson. Kerryon Johnson picks up the first down. Covered by the linebacker Bentley. 189 yards, make it 194 now. After that for Detroit, and 13 for the Patriots.
The weakness of this defense is going to be, can these linebackers cover these running backs out of the backfield? I don't think they can. I don't think they have the speed to keep up with Kerryon Johnson and Theo Riddick coming out of the backfield, and I don't think Matt Patricia believes it either. He knew these guys, he knows their weakness, and so far taking advantage.
Exploiting it, 1st and goal here. Blunt. You know, Blunt reminds you a lot of, Marshawn Lynch. We were talking to him about that the other day. He says he spends a lot of time watching Lynch videos on YouTube.
Yeah, and you can understand that. You know what? He's also become a little bit of the ambassador. You know, the Detroit Lions are going through a transition. You talked about the 2-hour practices. The one thing that the New England Patriots have always done is just work harder than everybody else. And so far, Matt Patricia is trying to bring that here, and it has been a bit of a hard left-hand turn for a lot of these guys, and a win would really help them buy into that.
2nd down and goal. Stafford. And that will be caught out of bounds. It's Galladay who's there, but he is on the choice. Well, you saw Brady along that sideline. frustrated. They have had the ball for 4 minutes.
He's going to have to warm up again.
Right.
Check out Galladay. Now, he didn't make this play, or did he? No, I think that left heel was down. But Al, I've seen him make catches like that game after game. He is one of the most impressive catchers of the football I've seen this year.
6'4", second year out of Northern Illinois. 3rd and goal. Fire to the end zone, too high. Marvin Jones in the back of the end zone. Couldn't get up to snag it. And in comes Prater to try to make it a 13-0 game. Through a fastball.
Yeah.
Out of the strike zone.
Just like Tom Brady, the one thing that happens to quarterbacks when they've got to get it out of their hand quickly, sometimes they just sail the ball. We saw Tom Brady do it the first time. He saw that Marvin Jones had a chance, tried to get it there too quickly, and it sailed off.
Prater now owns the record longest field goal in NFL history at 64 yards when he played for Denver. This is a 25-yard attempt. And the Lions extend the lead with a little less than 5 to the half. 13-0 Lions. High above Detroit. Ford Field. Comerica Park right there. And it's all been the Lions to this point. 13-0. Every category totally one-sided. Martin to kick off. Patterson will let it go. Brady will start at the 25, back in 30 seconds. No, Brady is 2 out of 5. They've only had the ball for 9 plays, 3 3-and-outs. Over the middle, and here goes Gronkowski. Forward progress will take him almost to the line, but a little short. Quandre Diggs makes the stop. It'll be 2nd down and inches.
All right, here we go with Rob Gronkowski. We've been trying to see exactly how they were going to play him. On early downs, he does not get all the double coverage, so maybe the plan was, hey, let's see what happens if we start throwing that way on 1st down.
Brady fires to the outside, and that's James White who's going to be taken down, and he didn't get to the line to gain, so it's going to be 3rd and 1. Jalen Reeves-Maybin makes the stop.
You know, the Detroit Lions linebackers are really almost the complete opposite of the Patriots. They're smaller, they're faster, they can play man coverage, and you saw a little bit of it right there out of Reeves-Maybin.
Pats bring in a fullback, Devlin. Brady, of course, sneaks for a 1st down a lot. This time they're going to give the ball to the rookie Michel, and he's going to get their first down of the game, but just barely out to the 36-yard line.
You know how this Sony Michel is a pretty impressive young man. I mean, he really had a knee injury, really missed all of preseason, and yet you get the feeling that he is about to become their go-to back. He is about to be, he's already currently like 1st and 2nd down, but you get the feeling, as you said, he could be out there a lot more.
From the 36-yard line, need Devlin in the game. Brady off the fake. Protection very good, but the coverage is good too, and he has to fling it away into the Patriot bench. 2nd down.
One of the things that I don't think people appreciate enough is the blocking of Rob Gronkowski. Yes, he has it in the run game, but so many times he has to pass protect before he goes out. They were trying to get the ball down the field to Philip Dorsett, who really has taken over the Brandon Cooks role. But Brandon Cooks, you talk to some of the people with the Patriots, he was a special guy with those deep balls. He was arguably the top deep threat in the league a season ago.
Brady dancing, throwing, open at the 50-yard line. That's Gronk for a 1st down in midfield. Clock going down to the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, and just big zone defenses on the outside now for Gronkowski. You're so afraid. He adjusts everything you do defensively. You're so afraid of leaving just Quandre Diggs on him one-on-one. So you try and mix up the coverages. I personally don't think the Detroit Lions play zone defenses very well. They're much better in man.
First time the Patriots have been in Detroit territory. James White is the back. And that's White, 20 points in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago to the 44. During the last Lions series, take a look at this. Here was Brady on the bench. One drive.
I'll tell you how the other part of this game tonight, Tom Brady's seeing a different front for the Detroit Lions. They had been getting burned with this reduced front with 3 defensive linemen inside the guard sort of area, and they are not playing that tonight, and with good reason.
2-minute warning. Detroit 13, New England nothing. Second down and 5. Patriots have all of their timeouts. Fake to White. Pass comes to the outside. That'll be a first down and more. Burkhead to the 25-yard line goes Rex. Tackled by Diggs there. 19 yards.
Well, I tell you, it's nice having Marcus Cannon back in the lineup. Did you see him fly out there and get that block? Right tackle, back in action.
Brady in the pocket, over the middle, caught 19-yard line. Chris Hogan won his 6th season, first 4 with Buffalo. Won a Super Bowl ring with New England a couple of years ago. Belichick, the ever-ready pencil. Josh McDaniels calling the plays. Michel is the back. Sony Michel comes up about a yard short of the first down. Tavon Wilson makes the tackle. It's going to make it 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, Detroit really does a nice job with that 3 safety look with Wilson in there.
3rd and 1 to the outside, and he's stopped at the 18-yard line. Glover Quinn takes Michel down, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, we're speaking of that 3 safety look. 2 of the safeties made that play. That was a combo sandwich.
Timeout here. On a 4th down and 3, Stephen Gostkowski, longtime Patriot kicker. Boy, they hit the gold mine. They had Vinatieri, and then this guy came in.
Sort of like the quarterback situation in Green Bay.
You bet. 36-yard attempt. After that drive, which consumed 57 yards, bogged it down. And the Patriots finally get on the board with 40 seconds remaining. It's now 13-3. We're back in 30 seconds. So the Lions are going to get the ball at the 25-yard line. 40 seconds and 2 timeouts.
Tale of 2 coaches, right? Got the teacher, got the pupil, and one has the old school paper and look at it that way. The other one with the surface in hand, going about it the other way. And then when they're on the defensive side, of course, you got to have the pencil in the ear. Follow the leader on that one. That's routine.
But Patricia's got it pointing forward, and Bill's got it pointing backward.
Yeah, Patricia turned his hat around, too.
He did. I miss him in that red pullover, too, all those years in New England.
He starts cutting off his sleeves, we'll know he has something.
Right. Stafford hangs in the pocket.
I love this.
Short gain turned into almost a first down, and a first down indeed. Golden Tate for a gain of 11.
Al, I love this. So many times, 40 seconds, you're backed up a little bit. You just kind of go, okay, we're just going to sit on it, go in at halftime with the lead. But it changes the momentum of the game. It just does. Get the ball out to a guy like Tate, who is as elusive as any wide receiver we have seen in the NFL over the past 4 or 5 years. Almost impossible for the first guy to make the tackle. For that matter, the second guy to make the tackle. Very safe throw. But as an offense, you stay engaged. You still want to be out there attacking, even if you don't get points.
So Detroit trying to get at least 3, and they will get, the Lions will, the second half kickoff. Riddick is in the backfield with Stafford. Four-man rush. Stafford throws, and then trying to find the sideline and get there, but can't is Kenny Golladay, and he's a little short of the first down. And the Lions will have to take a timeout here with 25 seconds.
53, 51. Ready. Pocket. Ready. Hot.
Second down and 1.
53, 54, 53, 54.
Lions do not have a timeout. Stafford over in the middle, taking a pop there. TJ Jones gets hit by Jonathan Jones. Clock has to run. Stafford, let's see if he spikes it here, and he does.
Well, I was wondering about the hit there. Every time you get a hit like that, you've got to start thinking about it, right? Looks like he did get him with the shoulder.
Let's bring in Terry out of there. Bring in Terry McCauley, our rules analyst. Terry, longtime former referee. What do you think?
So I think the receiver's just bracing for contact, so no foul on him. And the defender's just trying to make a wrap-up tackle. I don't see any forcible contact to the head and neck area, and he's certainly not defenseless anymore. And it's not roughing the passer, I can tell you.
All right, so no flags. Second down and 10. And a stoppage here for New England to take a timeout.
Well, we've been talking about Matthew Stafford, and look at all these arm angles tonight. You talk about pitchers that can drop down and deliver the different throws. Well, it takes a special guy with a special arm to be able to do all these different angles. There's that reverse C they talk about. And when he needs to really crank one up, no problem either. He is a special talent, and it's really because of the fact they haven't been able to run the ball because of some of the issues on the defense. Maybe underestimated as a player overall, but his numbers stack up with anybody.
He could be Koufax and Drysdale. Over the top or sidearm. Second down and 10. Stafford fires. Caught. Can he get out of bounds, though? That's Kenny Golladay. He's got a first down, but that should take us to triple zeros, and it does. Detroit will get the second half kickoff. What a half for these guys. Lions will start from the 25, and we start with Michelle.
Well, the Lions have allowed more points in the third quarter than any team this season in any quarter heading into this weekend. And Matt Patricia told me this third quarter is critical. We know the Patriots are going to make adjustments. We have to stay out in front of them. As for Bill Belichick, I asked him what his priorities were. He said everything. It's not just one thing. It's everything we have to do better. Al?
You take a look at those stats, Michelle, and he's right. Offense, defense. Brady has to wait as Stafford takes over first drive of the second half. Kerryon Johnson in the backfield. Ghost motion there. The rookie out to the 33-yard line. Chris.
A lot of good play on that offensive line, but maybe this one the most startling. The play of Frank Ragnow, the center in college. Watch how powerful he is in the run game. He is moving people. Those are big linebackers and big defensive linemen. He is moving out of the way and making it so easy for LeGarrette Blount and Kerryon Johnson to do their deal. Pass protection was an issue last week against DeForest Buckner, who's one of the best players in the National Football League. Not so much tonight.
88 yards rushing for Detroit, and it'll stay at 88. No gain there for Blount over the left side. That'll make it third down and 3 for the Lions.
A little bit of emotion now coming out of the New England Patriots. Dietrich Wise trying to get his guys fired up. And there is, you look for those guys. You know, you've got some key guys out of this game. Trey Flowers not playing up front. You need some energy.
No Patrick Chung, no Eric Rowe as well. So 2 starting defensive backs and your best pass rusher. Third and 4. Stafford fires, and it's intercepted at the 50-yard line. So a big turnover there. Bentley with the takeaway for New England. A rookie out of Purdue, Jawan Bentley.
Pretty special right here. You're going to get this post pattern, and I think if Stafford had thrown it up over the top, he might have had a touchdown. He tried to throw a line drive, and that allowed Bentley to come underneath and make the play. But that is exactly, if you're a Lions fan, what you did not want to see happen in this first drive, because somewhere in Atlanta they're thinking no lead is safe.
First turnover of the game.
52.
Michelle running back. And Michelle with an 11-yard pickup behind a Trent Brown block. The monster out of when the 49ers played his college football at Florida. 6'8" and 380 pounds is Brown. There he is.
I want you to imagine being number 24 Nevin Lawson when 6'8" and 355 pounds is coming at you. You made a very good business decision.
And then with no huddle, Michelle to the outside for a gain of 2 or 3. Flag with maybe a face mask in a relatively penalty-free game, but we'll hear from Cleet
Personal
Blakeman.
foul, face mask, defense, number 24, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that is Lawson.
Yeah, right at the end of the play, just as he was going out of bounds. There you go. And he, I think, would have been okay if he could have gotten his hand out of there soon enough. But this is what you have to worry about. Pat Patricia was saying what you have to be concerned with is that New England explosion. At some point in the game, they are going to explode on you, and you have to hang in there. You have to make a play in these kinds of situations after a turnover.
And he knows it firsthand after 14 years on the staff in Foxborough. Swinging to the outside, Michelle. And another flag here. It's Lawson making the tackle.
Holding, offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
So we highlighted Trent Brown, and there's the penalty on big number 77.
Yeah, when offensive linemen get surprised is when they hold. He thought the play was going inside there. When it bounced out here, you just naturally, you're always grabbing and holding a little bit. See the shoulder pad grab right there. Then it bounces outside. Then it becomes really obvious to the official. Happens all the time.
Got his hands on the linebacker, Eli Harold. Moves him back, first down and 20. Quick count, and the pass over the middle. That's Gronkowski finding his way close to a first down. So Gronk, who was silent until the waning moments of the first half, has now picked it up. Gain there of almost 20 yards. A second down, gain of 19, second and 1.
Yeah, another first down throw to Gronk. Again, when he doesn't get the double teams as much on those early downs, you think back to the Super Bowl. When did the Patriots get it going in that game? They started force-feeding Gronk in the second half.
Second and 1. Brady will sneak. So proficient at that through the years. Almost always converts on a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. Picks it up here on a 2nd and 1.
Well, I know Matt Patricia knows this. Josh McDaniels, if you leave a gap up there like the Detroit Lions just left on that play, whether he has it played, that play called or not, the quarterback sneak, he's just going to tap the center and go, let's go.
Only done it about 200 times.
Yeah. You got Gronkowski flanked wide, and you got a safety leaning that way to help. So opportunities back here to Brady's left to throw the ball.
Play clock was going all the way down, and Tom saw it and takes a timeout. I'll tell you one thing, Chris, when you look at the Patriots right now, and it's an early season game, how big can it be? Well, you know, if you lose the game and you go home 1-2, and next week you're playing a team that's 3-0, Miami at home, and you're already 2 games back.
Yeah, and flip it around. There's Robert Kraft, Jonathan up there, working on their 300th, right?
He's looking for his 300th one as an owner.
Pretty amazing what that group of men, along with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, have done with this organization. They were terrible when they took over.
Unbelievable run. Brady to the end zone and overshoots Burkhead. Burkhead looking back, straight back, covered by Reeves-Maybin. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Big guy on the outside, Trent Brown, but you're going to get a good rush out here by Romeo Okwara. There's a saying in football, low man wins, and you can see what that means right there. It's going to be a battle for Brown at all times during the course of his career to stay low.
Second and 10, a little toss to Michelle. Breaks a tackle and gets back to about the 10-yard line. Got away from Davis momentarily. That's going to make it 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, here's the speed of Jarrad Davis. This is the inside linebacker who can absolutely fly and break up plays. Sometimes he gets burned doing this, but every once in a while he flashes that speed. That initial contact slowed him down just enough. Got Gronkowski out to the right and double team big over him over there. It'll be tough to get it to Gronk.
Hogan is the motion man. Brady in the pocket throwing, and it will be caught by James White for a touchdown. .52 yards, 7 plays coming after the interception. Takes him 3.5 minutes. Right back in it.
Anytime you double team Gronkowski, you've got to leave somebody else one-on-one, and that has always been how the Patriots win games. And they do it so many times with these backs out of the backfield. This time James White, really pretty nice coverage down the field that time by Quandre Diggs. But that is the one-on-one matchup, and nobody finds the one-on-ones better than Tom Brady. I'll say this, though. The #1 option on every pass play they have is Rob Gronkowski. It takes 2 for them to get off of him.
White gets into the end zone. Gostkowski with the extra point. And 5 minutes into the 3rd quarter, it is a 3-point game at Ford Field in Detroit. Bill Belichick has a lot of love for Detroit. He was the assistant special teams coach in '76, receivers coach in '77. He had actually started as an intern in Baltimore with Ted Marchibroda, but this was his first real coaching job. There's the man in the middle is Rick Forzano, who hired him. There is Bill. Spent 2 years here. Was telling us a lot of stories last night about those 2 seasons 40 years ago. And you know what it has led to. And right now it's led to getting right back into the game down by 3 points. As Gostkowski kicks off. Start from the 25. One of the stories was Martha Ford, and she's here tonight. Lovely lady in her 90s, the widow of William Clay Ford, Martha Firestone Ford. She would send a Christmas card, and she has sent them every year for over 40 years. And the other thing the Fords did, as he remembers, he was making $10,000 a year. He got a $5,000 bonus and a Ford Thunderbird.
It wasn't all bad.
No.
He said the card's the nicest card I get every single year. It means so much to me that they have continued to send it. He said I was a nobody assistant coach here, and yet they treat me like family.
She's one classy lady, and Stafford's going to get taken down. And that's Wise, who's lighting a fire under that defense on the last series, and he comes in for the sack despite wearing a cast on his left hand.
There we go. Get some of that emotion now coming out of here. Wise going to come around. He had a big first game. He had 1.5 sacks in week 1 against the Texans there, and just goes right around Taylor Decker, who is a very good pass blocker, can struggle against the run sometimes, but that was a big-time play, and the Patriots and his emotion making a difference.
2nd down and 17. Spin around. Riddick. He takes it out to the 26-yard line. It's funny, we talked about Virginia McCaskey. We had the Chicago game. First lady of the Chicago Bears, Martha Ford. Sharp as a tack. Love visiting with her.
You know, there's just a difference when there's a lady in the room, isn't there? There's just a difference when there's a lady involved in the great game of football as well.
3rd and 9 now from the 26-yard line.
Big play. Detroit Lions need to get some momentum back.
Stafford throws, and there's the momentum back as Golladay makes the catch on a 3rd and 9. He gets free along the sideline, gain of 16.
Okay, this is as good a throw as you're going to see. Jonathan Jones is going to be right underneath this throw that's coming out like this. And Stafford has to lob it up over the top of him, and yet inside the boundary. That was something special by Matthew Stafford.
Kerryon Johnson now in the game. Good looking rookie out of Auburn.
Easy, no, he's not. Jam, 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 jam. Ready?
Tate. Nice play there as he takes it out to the 49-yard line. Jason McCourty stops him there. Gain of 7, 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, just in case you're wondering, T.J. Jones out there is able to block because it's within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage right there. So anything in that little white line is legal, clearly within that white line. Nicely executed.
Oh, it's 2nd and 4, spotted at the 48-yard line. Goes in Omaha there. And a 3-yard pickup here for Johnson across the 50-yard line. He goes 3rd down and 1, more than halfway through the 3rd quarter.
I'm always amazed at the ability of the Patriots defense to stay so patient. I mean, they have just remained back. They have watched the Detroit Lions and what is typically not a very good running game have a good day running the football, and yet they stay back to prevent those big plays. Their feeling is they're not going to get beat on runs. They're going to get beat by these wide receivers making big plays down the field. But an opportunity here if they wanted to take a shot. Man coverage across the board.
So Brian Flores, the nominal defensive coordinator. 3rd down and 1. Stafford throws, and that will be pulled in at the 45-yard line. Needed 1, got about 4. That's Kerryon Johnson making the catch, and it moves the sticks.
I'll tell you, if I had to make one throw to the Detroit Lions right now based on what I've seen this year and a big moment and a big play, that guy right there wouldn't be too bad at all getting the ball to him.
Garrett Blunt comes in the backfield.
Hey, slip. Ready? Back. Lady. Lisa.
Tate in traffic. He gets to the 40-yard line. Stafford 23 of 39. Stafford has averaged 39 passes a game in his career. It's 10 a quarter.
And they will do anything they can to get the football to Golden Tate in the open field. He catches more balls behind the line of scrimmage than anybody in the league, and the reason he does is because he is probably, well, without question, has been the single most elusive receiver in the game. Very difficult to get your hands on.
White 7.
2nd and 5. 8th play of this drive.
Stafford's caught everything from the line of scrimmage based on what they're doing defensively.
Keep it on the ground. And that sets up a 3rd down and 1 as Johnson takes the ball to that spot. This team right now, Detroit, averaging, well, more than averaging. Their total is 94 yards. They're averaging almost 5 yards per rush.
I have not seen Tom Brady stand on the sideline this much since he was injured. I mean, it just feels like it has been the Detroit Lions on offense all night. See if they go man coverage and really give Marvin Jones a shot against Stephon Gilmore. Safety leaning that way, probably not here.
3rd and 1 on the ground. This is Blunt. He'll move the sticks. And the reason you haven't seen Brady that much, I mean, the time of possession, Detroit has 28.5 minutes, and New England has 12.
Tell you what, pay attention now to this offensive line. What we're getting out of these interior three, and maybe in particular Frank Ragnow, is they are getting movement. This is a big bunch over there on the defensive line. I mean, the Malcolm Browns and the Lawrence guys and the Danny Sheltons, those are big people playing on that D-line.
Never good. Attacking report. 54. Read. Ready.
From the 33-yard line. On a roll. Stafford deep. Got a man. Touchdown. Marvin Jones. Talking about having to take shots, having to connect, and there it is. 75 yards, 10 plays. A big early third down conversion.
Al, I'm really surprised on the coverage on this one. The Patriots all the time, when you go across the formation, that guy goes there and the corner just falls back to center field. They did not do it on this one. I don't know why. You look like Gilmore was almost expecting it. And the speed of Marvin Jones made him pay.
And maybe that's where you really miss Patrick Chung. Prater with the extra point.
It's a great point.
With 3:45 remaining in the third quarter. Detroit 20, New England 10 on Sunday Night Football. Kick is fielded about 4 yards deep by Cordero Patterson. And a good run back out to the 29-yard line. Back to the touchdown we go.
Yeah, Duron Harmon playing in center field back. But you're going to see Gilmore. Watch him almost go straighten up the field and then almost point to say, he's yours. And then he realized that Duron Harmon was not going to pick him up. And all Gilmore could do was chase at that point. And finally a big play for Marvin Jones and Matthew Stafford. They had been 0 for 5 on those deep throws so far this year.
Huge early third down conversion on that drive, and it goes 75 in all. And open here, making the catch is Chris Hogan. Comes up a little bit short of the first down.
But Chris Hogan had a great Super Bowl, didn't he? And he is trying to do the impossible and replace Julian Edelman in the slot. He's not a slot receiver, and they've had so many great ones here in the past, but that was a very nice little in and out move. Edelman would have been proud of that one.
Come up with Michelle behind a fullback here on second down and 1. And he follows the escort, first down. Adam Schefter reporting today that there was a trade in the works, a serious one, with Gronkowski coming to Detroit just around the time of the draft. And then Gronkowski went in and said, I'm not accepting the trade, not taking the phone call. I'm going to stay in New England or not at all. And from everything we know, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, he was going to retire, and he let it be known. And I think it was believed by both parties because the trade went away after that. He's no dummy. He wanted to stay with Tom Brady. I don't blame him.
From the 45-yard line, Brady flips it out to the near side. You know, every time you look at the Patriots, Chris, it's like it doesn't matter. A book comes out, you've got rumors, you've got interviews, you've got everything going. And it's like, it's almost like with their success, it's like when Mark Twain once said, reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. You know, for them, it's if there's one mantra, it's on to Cincinnati.
And it's part of the price you pay for that level of success, right? I mean, if you're finishing last every year, they're not writing books about you. No. They're just not. Nobody cares. They care about the Patriots.
2nd and 10. Checks off, and the pass is dropped by Sony Michel out in the flat. Brady also gets flattened. It's 3rd down and 10.
I'll tell you, one of the things I love getting a chance to do with Bill Belichick is ask him some real detailed football question. I asked him something the other day, and he went on for 2 minutes about this thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so out of my league in this conversation.
Not really. You understood what he was talking about.
Barely.
3rd and 10. James White in the backfield. 4-man rush. Good protection. It starts to break down now. Brady deep downfield, and Gronkowski comes back to try to make the catch. Comes up a little bit short. 4th down.
Double coverage there on Gronkowski, and they're going to take a shot anyway. You got the underneath coverage, and then you have the safety over the top, and Glover Quinn really nicely played, though, on the outside by Deshaun Shedd, the former Seattle Seahawk. He was good in Seattle, too. He had a great year in 2016.
Seahawks bounce back today, beat Dallas at home. Allen's kick collected at the 9. Agnew. Around the corner he goes, ran 2 punts back for touchdowns last season. He steps out at about the 25-yard line. 1:58 left in the third. Detroit by 10. There are the McCourty boys, McCourty twins. Of course, Devin's been here a long time, and Jason just joined him at the beginning of the season.
Really good football players and even better men. They are tremendous. Do a lot of great work in their community.
From Skycam now, we'll check it from behind. Nice hole. Johnson for 15.
I love watching this Skycam. Watch TJ Lang get across the formation here and make this block. Not only did he get there, but he was athletic enough to stay in front, and that big gap you saw the back run through was courtesy of TJ Lang. What a difference he has made coming back from the injury a week ago.
Right now helping out as well.
53 is down.
Now 2 safeties down, but look at him starting to creep down. Just single safety. They've got to play this run now. They have to stop it. Can't let them eat up all the clock. There you go. That's better.
Johnson again. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7, and next snap will be under a minute to go in the third quarter.
You know, the one thing, Al, that the New England Patriots continue to do, and Brian Flores, their de facto defensive coordinator, is they do a lot of 2-gapping with that defensive line. A 2-gap simply means instead of running up the field and trying to go get the quarterback, get your hands on the offensive lineman in front of you and hold them. Hold them there so that you can go to the left and make a play or go to the right and make a play. They really want those arms extended by those defensive linemen. Get in there and bench press them off of it.
Stafford. That's going to be a first down. That's going to be Golden Tate and a lot more. All the way to the 32-yard line. Deron Harmon with the tackle. Lions on the move again. That's a gain of 25, and that is going to take us to the final quarter. Play 3 in Detroit, and the Lions lead the Patriots 20-10. And Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. Detroit, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya start the fourth quarter. 100-yard rushers. The Lions have gone 4.5 years, 70 games without a 100-yard rusher. Reggie Bush, the last to do it. During that stretch, there have been 428 100-yard rushing games in the NFL, done by 107 different guys. And tonight, we don't want to give this the kibosh, but that guy, Kerryon Johnson, is very close already. 12 carries, 86 yards. Meanwhile, LeGarrette Blount is in the game right now on a 1st and 10 from the Patriot 32-yard line. Look at that hole. And Blount takes it to the 19-yard line.
I mean, these are some of the biggest holes I've seen in the National Football League. I mean, you're going to get, you know, see, I'm getting oriented here. Down, down, down. And in here like this, get a kick out block across the way. Look at the size of that hole. I mean, that's Pee-wee football size holes. And then the worst news for defensive backs, you get a guy like LeGarrette Blount coming down on a safety.
Hey, big that.
Reduced now. They got 3 big guys in there along the defensive line. And now they're going to throw it. Don't blame them.
Stafford under pressure. He's going to flip it out to the fullback, Bellore. He's wrapped up there by Landon Roberts. Taken down for A little bit of a loss here. 5 yards, in fact. 2nd down and 15.
Yeah, you know when they're starting to take seriously playing the run when they go to that triple reduction. That's what Matt Patricia tried to do out in San Francisco and in their first game against the Jets, and it was a train wreck. It was a disaster. They were really bad at doing it, so they got completely away from it today with good reason. Now Belichick can loosen back up a little bit after that big first down.
2nd and 15. Play action. And he slings it into the ground and incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 15. It was a fast game. We've had only 6 accepted penalties and no injuries.
Yeah, you really have to give some credit here to Matt Patricia, and I think his knowledge of this defense. Let's be realistic. There are a lot of really good players not playing tonight for the New England Patriots either. But I think knowing the strengths and weaknesses of every single player, we asked Matthew Stafford about it, and he said that was the biggest thing that he gave to us. We knew exact things that they did well and what they didn't do well. Wow, a lot of coverage here, just 3 down linemen.
3rd and 15. Stafford stepping up. Stafford's going to keep it. And Stafford's going to go out of bounds at about the 14-yard line, providing an easier shot now for the field goal group as Prater comes in.
But even when they haven't scored touchdowns, they've been going up and down the field tonight. And the best defense and the best way to beat Tom Brady is to leave him over there drinking Gatorade.
Well, 374 yards for Detroit tonight. 133 for the Patriots.
Even with a made field goal, keeps it a 2-score game, and the pace is about to quicken for Tom Brady.
32-yard attempt. Baker's made him from 38 and 25. And his 3rd one is good. 12:44 left in regulation. It's 23-10 Lions. The winless teams, Steelers, Lions, Cardinals lose today. So do the Raiders, as did the Texans. Crazy day, though. You got the Packers losing. You got the Vikings getting stunned. Lions trying to get to 1 and 2 in the NFC North. Chicago winning at Arizona as the kick is fielded by Cordero Patterson. And the coverage is very good as he gets stuffed at the 21-yard line. Back in 30 seconds. Just 4 undefeated teams. Rams keep rolling, beat the Chargers. How about Mahomes? Holy smokes.
Amazing.
Dolphins are 3-0. Beat Oakland today, and the Bucks play tomorrow night against Philadelphia. Against Pittsburgh. They're 2-0. Now Brady starts this drive with a deep drop and a deep throw, and nobody's home. Just a bunch of blue shirts out there. 2nd down and 10.
Well, when Tom Brady gets it going, nobody can go through his progression like this guy right here. Check this out. He's got his first read, didn't like it. 2nd read, going to come off of that. By the way, I'm going to step up and avoid the pass rush. Find my running back coming out as read number 3. Part of the reason he's had plenty of time to do that tonight, really neither of these teams with too much of a pass rush.
You know, I'm wondering if they're talking about grounding. You can have grounding on a deep pass. We saw it in the Super Bowl a few years ago. There was nobody down there when Brady threw it deep downfield. I didn't see anybody close, and I think this is what the discussion is.
The question is, was he under pressure? Because if he wasn't, then you can't have it. I think he was expecting somebody.
Terry, what do you think? Terry McAuley?
Yeah, well, I see him under pressure. Number 42 is right next to him when he throws the football. There's nobody even close to where the ball lands. That should be a foul for intentional grounding. And there it is.
Yeah, he just threw it. We saw that in the Patriot-Giants Super Bowl.
Offense number 12. Ball replaced at the 13th. Correction. The foul is 10 yards from the previous spot. It's a loss of down. Brings up 2nd down.
Inside the tackle box. Is he under pressure? Has to be. I would say under pressure. And it really didn't feel like somebody ran the wrong route. It did kind of feel like he was just getting rid of it.
He only overthrew Dorsett by 25 yards.
Well, he's fast, but
not that quick. 2nd and 20. And he gets some of that back as he hits Cordero Patterson up at the 22-yard line. Gain of 12. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
That Brady motion, the way he tucks that left elbow in there. Try it at home. Make that throwing motion, tuck that left elbow in there hard, and what it does is it forces the ball way over the top. Look at that release point, way over the top. He works on it all the time.
Big 3rd down play under 12 minutes. Trying to keep the drive alive on the 3rd and 8. Lots of time. Surveying, coming back the other way, and that's a coverage sack if I've ever seen one. Down he goes at the 19-yard line. You have the ball that long, you're Tom Brady. You know that the secondary has done a masterful job.
There just has to be an answer for somebody other than Gronkowski. Pure double team all the way across the field. No way they're going to give him that. And there's Cordero Patterson on the outside, well covered by Darius Slay. They don't have many other options. This is a team I think misses Brandon Cooks and obviously Julian Edelman.
He'll come back in 2 weeks. Agnew takes it at the 29-yard line. Flag is down to the 39. They may get Josh Gordon ready for next week conceivably. He's inactive tonight, and then Edelman for sure 2 games from now.
You know what, Al, though? It's hard. I mean, Josh Gordon, you know how hard it is to learn what Tom Brady's doing at the line of scrimmage, and they want to go so fast. The package with him would have to be so limited at this point. And everybody knows when he comes in the game, play him deep, right? Don't give up a big play. And the Lions fans are digging this.
Turn to return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 47. A 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul. 1st down, Detroit.
Tracy Walker, but Detroit has the ball and the lead with 11 minutes to play. All right, now Detroit. Starts from the 20, and this is a guy who can really close things out as LeGarrette Blount picks up 4. Tough is Blount in the 4th quarter through the years. He moves the chains, he moves the clock along. Take a look, since 2010, most 4th quarter rushing yards. LaShawn McCoy, and Blount is next.
The one thing that they were determined to do, Bob Quinn insisted that this team get tougher physically, that they learn how to run the football, that they convert 3rd downs and around the goal line, things they couldn't do. They draft Ragnow, Ryan LeGarrette Blount, Kerryon Johnson.
And there's Johnson right there. He's going to get stopped at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and let's call it 7 now.
But here's the moment. I know the Patriots haven't done much tonight on offense, but it is still Tom Brady, and you have to stay aggressive. You just have to assume that that guy is going to do what he has done throughout the course of his career. Make it interesting by the time we click down to double zeros. So this play here is really important.
Get a 1st down. He can take another 2 minutes off the clock.
It's like they're going man underneath with zone behind it with those 2 deep safeties. The toughest to throw the ball into that there is.
4-man rush. Stafford throws, and that's incomplete. Coverage is good. T.J. Jones cutting across the field with him was Gilmore. And in comes the punting unit.
Yeah, instead of staying too deep, they ended up going alert coverage to get these crossing routes. The crossing routes really beat up the Patriots a week ago and had an opportunity there, but Stephon Gilmore too good.
First punt of the night for the Lions. Cyrus Jones is back to receive the kick from Martin. Calls for a fair catch at the very last second and makes it at the 26 with 9:18 remaining in the 4th. They start this drive from the 26-yard line with Sony Michel, the rookie 1st-round draft pick trying to fight for that 10th yard. He gets only 9 seconds and 1, and we go to Michelle.
Well, Brady is down yet another weapon. Rex Burkhead, the running back, went back to the locker room. He's being evaluated for a neck injury. He went back there with the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant. They are required for neck injuries. Keep in mind, he had a concussion week 1 as well. Finished that game, diagnosed later. We'll keep an eye on it.
Right, Michelle, and that's why we haven't seen him very much tonight as they pick up the first down and more here on a run by Michelle over left guard out to the 41-yard line. 8:40 left.
One of the lines that we loved from Tom Brady last night was that most organizations don't have the competitive stamina to follow through. The grind of those 2-hour practices on Friday, the grind of the offseason. It's hard for people to do. They win a game, they want victory Monday off. They don't take days off in New England.
I love that phrase, competitive stamina. It's perfect. You know, especially you come back off a loss, as Brady has done through his career, a regular season loss, and in the game following a Patriots loss, he's 43-10.
Yeah, and that's what Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn are trying to do with the Detroit Lions. Build those calluses. Make practice so hard that you get into the games and you get into these situations, and it's easy. A lot of teams, you know, want to stay healthy, not practice that hard. That's not what these two teams are all about right now.
2nd and 8. Brady going deep downfield into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Intended for Dorsett. That's Darius Big Play Slay with a very big play and a flag on the run back, and another one comes in at the end of the play. Slay, who was in concussion protocol until late in the week. Double coverage on Dorsett deep downfield with the pick, and the penalty should be in regard to the run back.
Darius Slay has some of the best ball skills you'll find in the NFL. 8 interceptions a season ago, and you see why. Very comfortable. He was never uncomfortable on that route. Ends up down with the football. You go after him at your own risk.
During the return, personal foul on this after blindside block on the defense, number 32. It's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Detroit.
Penalty on Tavon Wilson. 7:23 left. And this is Kerryon Johnson to the 23, and back we go to the Slay interception.
Yeah. Watch Darius Slay here, keeping his vision on Tom Brady. This is a zone on the outside, but he knows exactly what Brady's going to do. He knows it's a little bit of desperation time, under total control of that. He read Tom Brady, who was trying to look off the safety, but Slay was not fooled. And what a difference having him in this game. He had a concussion against San Francisco a week ago. They weren't certain whether he would play or not. Practice Friday, huge here.
Lions milked the clock on 2nd down and 6. Stafford throws, a little high, looking for the flag is taken. Won't get one. Jones covering. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, we were just talking about it, Al, defensively for Matt Patricia's team. There hasn't really been that one player that has dominated. Slay just made that big play there, but nobody with more than 4 tackles. Jared Davis and Christian Jones on that. This has just been one of those grinded out great efforts, and I think you have to begin to look at this Patriots team and go, okay, how good are they right now?
Now what?
The only team they beat was Houston, and Houston hasn't won a game.
3rd and 6 from the 23-yard line. And that's caught. 1st down and more. Theoretic out to midfield. Chewing up yardage in the clock. I love the point you made, Chris, on the pregame show tonight. You said, you know, if you took the names and numbers off the back, you got Brady, you got Gronkowski, and then most of the rest of the top guys are on Detroit.
Absolutely. Check out Riddick. He is just so elusive. That is his choice. Whatever Theo Riddick wants to do there, Matthew Stafford is just going to watch him. You want to break inside, break inside. You want to break outside, break outside. And there aren't very many people in this league, linebacker, safety, or otherwise, that can cover that guy coming out of the backfield.
Ready?
Run the play clock all the way down. Lunt to the 45-yard line, and that'll chew up another 35 seconds or so.
So now they're playing to run on first down, no question about it. We get this reduced look with these three guys in there, got more people around the line of scrimmage, so they have no choice. They've been playing the pass all day long, but it has been the Detroit Lions offensive line and this running game. I can barely believe I'm saying that tonight, but that's exactly what has won the football game, at least to this point, for the Detroit Lions.
You just came home from dinner, you look at the score, you're rubbing your eyes. 2nd and 9. Kerryon Johnson is the back. And it's taken down at the line of scrimmage by Wise. That'll make it 3rd down, and Belichick's going to take a timeout. Got to start conserving the clock with Detroit trying to run it all the way down. Patriots came into the game only 3 wide receivers. They've thrown 7 times, completed 3. Tight ends, 3 receptions. And that would figure, of course, that's all Gronkowski. And the running backs, they normally go to them a ton, just 5 receptions on 9 targets.
Yeah, and not one pass play over 20 yards. I think they had 1 of 19.
2 of 19.
And they need help, and maybe it's that guy right there. Who knows? Josh Gordon may end up somehow you have to get some distribution. Somehow you have to get people off of Rob Gronkowski. And without Brandon Cooks, they don't have that person right now.
3rd and 8. New England using its 2nd timeout here. Brady had to take one earlier. The play clock running down in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 8. Stafford. Good protection. Fires. Caught. 41-yard line. Flag is down. Kenny Golladay had a flag down in the offensive backfield.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
Taylor Decker negating the 1st down.
Yeah, it was just completely unnecessary. They had great protection. You'll see Claiborne try a little spin move here. And as he did, Decker got his hands right there, and the officials able to see that one. But it has really been, and I know the Patriots are missing their best pass rusher tonight. Trey Flowers not being able to play because of his concussion. It was a real factor in the game, and the other guys as well in the secondary, Chung and Eric Rowe.
3rd down and 18. Settle for a run here. And almost to the 45-yard line.
Did that do it?
It goes, well, that's going to put him at 101 yards. So unless he loses a couple of yards on subsequent runs, it's going to be the first. It's almost like the crowd senses it, too. They know it. They know it's been 4.5 years since they had a guy rush for 100 yards, and the rookie does it.
And it's going to be Kerryon Johnson's name that is going to break that streak. But let me tell you something, Al. Taylor Decker, in particular, Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow, TJ Lang, and Ricky Wagner. I came in here thinking the right side of this offensive line had a chance to be really good, and they are. But tonight, the rest of them have really impressed. And I think Frank Ragnow we have to talk about him as a potential game ball.
But here, New England took its final timeout. They have none left. They can only stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And they're going to have 4.5 to try to get a couple of touchdowns. A little bit of a recap tonight. You joined us late. Fast start for Stafford and company. Matthew, with typical numbers, 262 yards. Very untypical for that guy. 105 yards. 1 TD, 1 interception. The Lion defense, which had given up 78 points, has been great. And Kerryon Johnson, they put that up on the board. And he's being surrounded by his teammates. There they are.
Up in here, up in here. They are sick of hearing announcers like me talk about it. And look at the offensive linemen. They don't even care.
He just better hope he doesn't lose 2 yards net the rest of the game.
They're just thinking, boy, I hope my wife has my beer when I get home.
From the 15-yard line, they start this drive. To the Patriots. Brady out of the gun. Only a 3-man rush this time. And Tom fires up to the 23-yard line. That is Gronkowski making the catch. For Gronk, that's 4 grabs tonight for 51 yards. 2nd and 2. Brady, look out. Sacked at the 10-yard line by Eli Harold. Came over in a trade from San Francisco, and that's 2 tonight. He has a pair. We're under 4 minutes. It's going to be 3rd and 12.
That's nice. Watch Eli Harold. Basically, the 49ers didn't think he was good enough. Perfect coverage down the field, and 6 sacks a week ago, and now I bet you 5 of them were coverage sacks. Got one there, too.
Harold working against his old teammate, Trent Brown. 2 former 49ers. Brady dancing, firing, and that is somehow at the 34-yard line. Incomplete. No, hit the ground. Dorsett in a lot of traffic, thinks he held on, but it's going to be 4th down.
I think that was Jared Davis that got a finger on the ball. It's on the ground.
On the ground. Nothing to challenge. By the way, they don't have a challenge anyway. They're out of timeouts. Even if they wanted a challenge it, they couldn't. So it is 4th down, and the New England Patriots are forced to go for a 4th and 12 from their own 13-yard line.
Gronkowski in the slot to the right. Double team Vice.
Double team. Got him at the line, deep downfield. That is incomplete. There is no flag. And Detroit's going to get the ball deep in New England territory.
I thought Rob Gronkowski was covering a punt. Look at this. This is just, that's what they do to the outside guys on the punt team. Not you, big guy. Not you, somebody else. Problem is, ain't nobody else.
Yeah, well, Matt Patricia, there's Dorsett who gets hurt. Down to 3 receivers, so Philip Dorsett on the sideline. Came over last year from Indianapolis. He was really rounding into form, and Brady just flips his helmet away. And the Patriots are going to go home with a record of 1 and 2.
Boy, Darius Slay being in this game has been huge. And we thought maybe last week that Jacksonville was just that good, right? That they just beat the Patriots at home in the heat and no big deal. But a couple in a row, feelings change.
Back after this. So there were the fans at Ford Field, so disappointed on opening night against the Jets. They lose in San Francisco last week. Started the show tonight with some callers. They were, as we said at the outset, the natives were restless. And now love is in bloom.
You know, Bob Quinn is a guy that Jim Caldwell was doing fine, right?
Sure.
But if you're in his position, you may only get one shot to be general manager of a team, right? I mean, you may only get one. And he believed in the Patriot way. And he got a chance to hire a Patriot, and he knew it was going to be a hard left. He knew it was going to be a difficult transition, not only for this team, but for this fan base. And the calluses are starting to build on the Detroit Lions. Well, it's a tougher team than we saw earlier in the season.
The two of them worked together in New England. I mean, Caldwell did it. He had a winning record. He got to the playoffs twice in his 4 years here. But Quinn was saying, we got to beat the good teams. They've had so much trouble beating the better teams through the years.
And they couldn't convert third downs and short. They couldn't convert with a running game on the goal line. So what did they do? You know, they go out and they get some oomph. They get some big guys.
Right there, Blunt. Flag is down.
Holding. Offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
When it comes to trying to beat the good teams, I mean, Stafford's had a pretty good career. He's been durable. He's thrown for a lot of yardage. But when it comes to regular season record against teams that finished that season with a winning record, 6-49. It's going to be a 7 after tonight.
Well, and it's because that there was never any balance here. You know, everybody knew you came in here and you played Matthew Stafford to throw the football down the field. And he puts up big numbers, and they stay competitive, and then their defense gives up 24 points a game, and they win some, they lose some, but you give up 24 points, you don't win many of those.
3rd and 7 is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. As it gets into the end zone. Well, when Buffalo beat Minnesota today, ball is out. The ball is out. Clock continues to roll. It's going to be Detroit's ball. As a wise man once said, or a wise guy, nobody knows anything. Nothing.
I know this.
What do you know?
We talked about it a little bit already, but make the call. That the Patriots look like one team in September almost every year. We saw them on opening night against Kansas City last year, and we go, oh boy, what's wrong with the Patriots, right? And then they went on this streak of they won 11 out of 12 games. The defense went from giving up like 28 points a game, the rest of the way 14 points a game. There is a process in New England. And they're going to have a long process when they get home with Bill Belichick after this one.
So the Detroit Lions, when you take a look at the standings now in the North, Chicago's going to be on top. The Packers are 1-1-1. The Vikings are 1-1-1, and Detroit's going to go to 1-2. And in the East, all of a sudden, next week in Foxborough is a critical game for the Patriots, because they're already 2 games back. If somehow Miami wins that game, I mean they're 3-0, they'd be 3 games up after a month with a head-to-head win.
Florida teams are kicking it.
There you go. Prater to kick it through. It's his 4th field goal of the night, and it makes it 26-10. Well, you know, look, we've been around long enough. Remember, how many years ago? It was like 4 years ago or 3 years ago. The Patriots had their head handed to them on a Monday night in Kansas City. They were 2-2. At that point, I mean, some of the stories in New England were, maybe Brady's done. Let's get Garoppolo in there. And the next thing you know, they're lifting the Lombardi Trophy in February.
We're on to Cincinnati, right?
That was the game.
That's
that
the
was
buzz
the game.
phrase.
That was the game.
But what was interesting for me about this night for the Detroit Lions was this was an old-fashioned win. This was, let's get our big offensive line going behind our running backs. Let's use our speed to get outside. When they start coming up to play the run, let's throw it over the top of their head. That is a real proven method to winning football games consistently in the NFL. And I guarantee out of everything that happened tonight, that's what Matt Patricia likes best.
Hats off to Paul Pasqualoni, the defensive coordinator. He said defense has done a great job tonight. As Patterson past the 20 to the 25-yard line penalty on the play.
During the return, illegal block in the back, return team number 46. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. First down, New England.
So the Lions' immediate future will look like this. They go to Dallas next week, so both teams will be 1-2. They get Green Bay coming in here, then a bye week, then off to Miami, and then Seattle comes in week 8.
You know what's so funny is everybody was saying, oh, you look at that schedule, where are they going to get a win? Now you go, boy, based on what we saw tonight, they looked pretty good against Dallas, who had a tough time out there today. Green Bay's in a bit of a struggle. You know, it's amazing. 1 week just flips the script on everything.
Brady starts this drive from the 8-yard line, just on the ground with White. Good on the stat sheet out to the 24-yard line. New England schedule talking about going home. They've got Miami and Indy. Then it said at Kansas City, but Kansas City is in Foxborough. That's a Sunday night game. And up to the 27-yard line goes White. So they've got 3 home games in a row. And it's too early to say critical, but you know what? Mini critical.
I've just seen it too many times. Yeah. You know, I've just seen it too many times.
Here's White. His numbers will look a lot better after this I don't want to say garbage time drive, but with no timeouts, pretty close.
But it still is, right, a two-score game.
It's a two-score game.
I mean, anybody else, I'd be laughing at myself for saying it.
Right.
But who knows?
We've seen some wacky stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's caught. Hogan makes the catch, 44-yard line. Patriots run up to the line of scrimmage.
You know, I always think it's almost time for the Hail Mary right now because you have to get one in there and then another after the onside kick.
Dorsett is back in the game. It's an underneath pass to White. It's going to take a lot of time off the clock and take us down to about 10 seconds by the time Brady gets this next one off, if indeed he gets it off.
That's what I mean.
No.
You know, you complete a pass and it's over.
No. Guys are just now getting back to the line of scrimmage and offering their congratulations to the Detroit Lions. Look at that.
Nobody respects Bill Belichick more. I guarantee you this will be a very respectful moment between these two.
Brief hug. Bill taking the troops back to Foxborough, and Patricia gets his first win against the Master.